Steven!
Oh, how are you now?
No, you love doing that now. Did you enjoy seeing me this past weekend?
It's all right.
Just I.
I mean, it's like he said last week. I see you through video chat every day. It's really not much different.
I know, but it was flesh to flesh for the first time in a while.
I know. And the first thing you said to me was, "Hey, Stevie Dix." So, yeah, great start.
Let me just say that I don't know if it was the baseball or it was the way I titled the last episode that made people kind of steer clear of the last one.
I think it was the baseball.
Maybe I just shouldn't put dicks in the title of our podcast.
Yeah, Dix. You put buttholes in the title of
That's
our
been
Twitter
removed.
name.
That was requested by you. I removed the butthole.
Well, yeah. I mean, we wanted John Morosi to retweet it and maybe like it, and he wasn't going to do any. He wouldn't want to. He wasn't going anywhere near that.
He was going. He's going nowhere near that butthole.
Yeah, nowhere near that butthole in the title.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Just Your Opinion, man. Stevie Dix, Derek Papa. Okay, I'll stop with it. But it was good to see you, my friend. I was back home in the Bay Area this past weekend. Got to finally meet your girlfriend, Jessie. She's made cameo appearances on this podcast before, but it was good to actually meet her.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good times.
And she said that anytime that we have a lull in the podcast, she'll come on and just rip you.
Yeah, that's fair. She really wants to do that. She wants to have like a roast Steven segment. So I figured we could get her. We could get my brother. I'm sure they'd both be very interested in doing that nonstop.
I need to find some people to roast me. Can't be too hard to find.
How about your dad?
Just to come on and roast?
Yeah.
I mean, he would do that regardless.
Ah, okay. All right. Well, we'll bring him on.
Well, he's already come on, Steven. You were too busy to get your haircut that day.
Yeah. Yeah, poor timing. Needed that one.
No, we'll get him on again and you'll talk to him. But no, it was good seeing everybody. I was back home. I went to go to the Warriors game last Thursday. Saw them beat the Lakers, or should I say what remains of the Lakers. LeBron, AD, Westbrook all decided not to play. And it was funny seeing all of them just sit on the sideline and kind of goof around and kind of just say, fuck it, this season's over. And it was a good game. Warriors won. We'll talk about the latest games. But I just want to know, Steven, who the hell is Bam Bam? Do you know this guy?
The K-pop star?
Yeah. So he was playing at halftime, and I felt like I was just aging myself rapidly because me and my dad were sitting there, and I was like, who is this Bam Bam? Mm-hmm. And I looked at Twitter, and everybody knew who he was. It was like, I guess, like his big coming out party. And, good performance. He was lip syncing. But, Bam Bam. I feel old. I don't know who the hell Bam Bam is.
Well, I'd never heard of him before until it was apparently his fault. I guess his fault is the word you could use. But he was the reason why Andrew Wiggins was the all-star starter. He had so much of the fan vote because Bam Bam loves Andrew Wiggins.
No way, really?
Yeah, so he put him on social media, and his fans went crazy. So they all went to go vote for Andrew Wiggins for the All-Star game. That's why he was in the starting five.
No shit.
Yeah,
did not know that.
These K-pop stars, man. I mean, you may not have heard of them, but those dudes are just as popular as any celebrity out here. It's wild.
No, BTS is like the new Beatles. I told you about when I was locked in my car for an hour and a half because I couldn't get out of the parking lot at SoFi.
Yes.
Terrible.
It all started with Psy, Gangnam Style.
Oh, yeah. Like that.
It was all the rage.
Yeah, Gundam Style. Hey, sexy lady.
Yeah. So that one... catapulted, I guess, K-pop stars into what it is today. And I could be wrong about that. I don't know much about the history of K-pop.
Yeah. But it was a good time at the old Chase Center. Still not Oracle, but it's a fine arena.
Yeah,
and then
you're just going to say that every single time you go there, isn't it?
I am going to say that. Yes, because it's not Oracle.
Yeah. Okay. We know
it's
that.
A fact. It's not physically Oracle.
Yeah, like that's the first thing you said when we met up at that one Christmas game against the Rockets. This isn't Oracle. No way. Of course it's not.
And nothing will be. And then I saw you at the Giants game the next day. Went with my brother, and my dad was doing the broadcast from the dugout. So we went in the hot, blistering sun, and thank God I've learned my lesson from what was it, 5 years ago when I had to be hospitalized for my sunburn. And
Yeah,
thank God I lathered my bald head in SB whatever, SP, I should say. And we sat in the hot sun. We moved around, went to the old Gotham Club, but it was a good time at the Giants game. And
yeah,
they got
man.
the win, despite the fact that it was kind of dicey there for a second.
What did you think of Brandon Belt and his quit playing with your dinghy?
Well, I will say that so Brandon Belt's the longest tenured Giant, I guess, by like a few months ahead of Brandon Crawford.
Right.
Okay. So it was a nice thing, and he threw out the first pitch too.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, like I would have had Buster Posey come back, but I guess he lives in Georgia, doesn't want to be bothered. Or maybe Boch if he was there. I thought he was there. Barry Bonds was there. He's not throwing out the first pitch. No, it was fine. I'm not a Giants fan, so I don't really know the whole, love for Brandon Belt, and I guess it was a nice thing.
Yeah, well, I thought it was funny. Like I laughed. I don't know. I find
Yeah,
Brandon Belt to be a funny guy, but a lot of people I realized this morning a lot of people didn't like it.
why?
Just because Brandon Belt's not as good as they want him to be, and so when you have to pull antics like that, you have to apparently have a over 300 average and hit 25 plus home runs and 100 plus RBIs in every season.
I mean, okay, so whatever.
That's what people were thinking. It's like okay, it's not that deep. It's just
Yeah.
them trying to capitalize on a marketing opportunity, which they did. And can you really blame them for it? I thought it was funny. Am I going to go buy a Brandon Belt captain hat? No, because I'd look stupid in one of those. But I could see why people would. They're fans of the team. They want to buy merchandise, and that could be a fun little piece of merchandise that you can hold on to so you can remember the days of Brandon Belt, the captain.
And you immediately texted me saying Clay missed out on being Captain Clay.
Yeah, they Warriors missed out on some sort of opportunity to use the Clay boat thing in some capacity. It's just but that's not the Warriors thing. And if the Warriors don't want to do that, it's fine. They could get money in other ways. I mean, they got a whole bunch of people going to the games and they're charging enough for it. So I don't know. It's not the Warriors type of thing. Maybe they did miss out on it. I just texted that I needed to get a takeout. Did you line up for any food, by the way?
Yeah, of course. We got well, I will say this, knock on wood, I'm grateful that I'm not deathly ill because my brother tells me that there's a nice Safeway burrito in our fridge. You ever have a Safeway burrito?
I haven't had a burrito from Safeway. No, I have not.
Oh, they are good, my friend, especially with the sausage. People know what I'm talking about. When you have a nice Safeway burrito, those things are tasty. But my brother neglected to tell me that our fridge was not working for quite some time. So I ate that thing and was expecting the whole weekend to be hit with salmonella or any type of food poisoning. Thank God nothing has happened, knock on wood. It's been 3 or 4 days since, so I think I'm in the clear. But I was nervous the whole time sitting at the Giants game, just being like, when is the diarrhea going to kick in?
Didn't you think it was kind of a lukewarm burrito? Like, hey, this isn't as cold as I expected it to be coming out of a fridge.
Well, here's the thing. So my brother Nick told me that the fridge was not working. I thought it was like a day thing. Like, okay, it's one day. I think the burrito was fine. It turned out that it was 2 or 3 days, and I was like, oh shit, I might be in trouble here. But I didn't want to eat anything at the game, but I managed to. I think I ate a hot dog or something, and I was fine. So the one thing I will say about the Giants opening day, I'm grateful that it didn't go on forever because in years past, would you agree, Steven, as a Giants fan, they do those things for so long. It's usually with like I think I asked you about this when we met up, but they do like a painting or a mural. Like I remember one year they did Willie McCovey, and obviously it's a good thing to honor. They do a good job of honoring those that work at the Giants and those that have passed away. But man, oh man, do those opening day ceremonies last a really long time? And I thought this was one of the shorter ones I've seen in quite some time.
I can't really speak to that. I don't know. I've always just kind of tuned in the middle of it. I've never been to an opening day before, I don't think, for the Giants. So it was cool to experience that. But I don't know. I didn't notice that. I thought it kind of took a long time. The timing was off with the guys with the parachute, the Navy SEALs coming in. It was a little weird in the middle of the national anthem.
Yeah, like there was applause in the middle of Brian McKnight doing the national anthem. I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, that was
Not to
great.
say that Brian McKnight doesn't deserve an applause for the national anthem. I'm just saying it was early.
Rennell's like, you got to wait a few minutes. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It would have been hilarious if Rennell was like, wait, Brian. Back to one.
Yeah.
Uh, Speaking of corny jokes, I think I told you this, but in the top of the ninth, and the Giants have what was a 1-run lead. It must have been because they tied the game with the home run.
Yes.
Whatever it was.
You mean the Marlins had a 1-run lead?
No. The Giants had a 1-run lead, and
No,
then it
the
was
Giants
tied.
had a. The Giants had a. No, the Giants had a 2-run lead, and then Duvall gave up 3 runs, and it was a 1-run game.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, by the top
Well,
of the ninth, and then
okay.
in the bottom of the ninth, Tyro hits that home run.
Right. Okay, but it was Jazz Chisholm with his
Yes.
home run. Okay. And this was a good bonding moment between me, my brother Nick, and yes, our soon to be 60-year-old father, Greg. All of us coming together, acting like schoolboys, making fun of Chaz Chisholm's name. Because if you speak it in pig Latin, it sounds like Chisholm. So as soon as he hit that home run, the three of us are all making jokes. Wow, Chisholm really jacked that. Chisholm's all over the field. And I'm sure everyone around us was just like annoyed as hell. Yes, Greg Papa was making Chisholm jokes at Oracle Park.
That's no surprise at all. Has anyone ever listened to the Caboose Pistol before? If anyone's listened to that, they would know that's no surprise.
I know. I just think, where do people think I get it from? I just would love to hear if John Miller was like, Chisholm at the plate. Chisholm's gone. Adios. Polonta.
Jazz Chisholm's awesome.
I know. He had that great catch. What was it, Saturday or Sunday?
It was Sunday.
Okay.
Sunday. I mean, he makes unbelievable defensive plays. His bat's always there. I'm a fan of Jazz Chisholm. He's got so much swag, man. He's got the purple hair. He's got like the 2 chains. It's great.
2 chains. But in the end, the Giants won the game, and they steal 2 out of, well, I wouldn't say steal, but they won 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. And the A's, they actually managed to win a game against the Phillies. Not going to be that terrible. And I think they're still leading 9-0. I would hope so at this point. But as we were speaking, they're leading 9-0 against the Tampa Bay Rays.
They are. It's the bottom of the 6th. There's a runner on first. It's a 1-1 count to Yandy Diaz.
You seem very invested in this game.
I got the game up, man. I took the live plus 6.5. I need the Rays to score 3 runs. Damn it. It's like you give up 8. You give up 8 in the second. And the A's were just all over this dude, Matza. There's got to be like a matzo ball soup joke in there.
There's
somewhere.
A guy named Matza?
Yeah, Mazza.
Matza's breaking apart.
Yeah, so there's got to be some sort of matzo ball soup joke in there, but they were all over him. And then he gave up a 3-run homer to Elvis Andrus in the second inning to make it like 8-0. Oh, anything worse as a pitcher to give up a 3-run jack to Elvis Andrus, who has like 2 home runs throughout an entire season.
True.
But you know what, man? They're pouncing all over him right now. Chad Pinder. I like Chad Pinder. Oh, I do too. Chad Pinder. Got a lot of power, man. Got a lot of pop. But
by the way,
this dude couldn't locate a pitch to save his life. So the A's were just. Oh, and Pache got a hit. I like.
Yeah,
Pache.
he did. Which trade was he involved in?
I don't know, but I like Pache.
Okay.
Let me look it up because I actually don't know. Let's do this. Let's have fun here. Kristen Pache. This is a good thing about this. The thing about baseball is MLB.com has their history of where they're at and where they were traded and how they got to their teams. A lot of other. So he was in the Matt Olson trade.
Okay.
Yeah. All so right. He was from the Braves. Was being called up and down from the Braves. How about that? Since 2015, he's been with the Braves. Someone working out outside or what?
You heard that?
Yeah, I heard that. Shea Langoliers, Ryan Cusick, and Joey Estes.
Cusack?
John Cusack, High Fidelity. Whoever's
not to be confused with the porn star John Cusack. Had to know that from Make the Call with Tony. It's a long story. Anyway, so
what
then
we went. What was that? What was that? Porn star or infielder?
Basically.
The greatest game in radio. Is it a porn star or a children's book writer?
Oh man, I missed that segment. And I missed you guys. So after the Giants game, we all met up at Old Ship back in our old stomping grounds, and met up with everybody, and it was a good time. Met up with our guest, who will join us on Thursday, Matt Steinmetz, going to join us on
Yes.
Thursday to talk about Warriors and playoff stuff. And I will say, speaking of the A's, I'll drop his name here. I'm really impressed with the guy you work with now, Evan.
Yeah.
He knows his shit, man. He was explaining to everybody why what the A's are doing is good for the A's and good business. And while I didn't agree with him, he was making very, very good points.
Oh, so you listen to him, but you don't listen to me. All
Nope,
right.
don't listen to you.
Yeah,
Because
but
he
no,
sounds smart,
Evan.
and I know how smart you are.
Evan's a very smart dude. Like he keeps a list on Twitter of like the books that he's read. He's read more books in a year than I'm ever going to read in my
Yeah, how
entire
many?
life.
Yeah, how many books have you read in a lifetime?
Oh, I don't know. Not that many. Like 8 or 7. 7.
7
All the
sounds
Harry
good.
all the Harry Potter books. Yeah, no, he's a good dude. He knows his A's baseball too. One time we were
He
at the
does.
Old Ship once, and we just started naming off obscure A's players and just laughing, and it harkened back to that tweet where it's like guys could just sit around and drink and name old athletes and just laugh about it. I'm like,
Oh,
yep.
dude, I can't tell you how many times I've went to San Jose to hang out with Cody Elias and Alexander Scott, and that's all they did. I'm like, are we talking to girls at some point?
Yeah, I didn't hear their regular voices as soon as I got there. Like they were just talking in Stone Cold or a Randy Savage voice. It was never their regular voices. Just like, oh yeah, I'll get a Guinness. Oh yeah.
And then we met up with John Curley Saturday night. Congrats to John Curley, our friend. He's getting engaged to his girlfriend, Hannah.
Yeah.
And I think he had 30 something beers, not to mention so many Jameson shots, where he was telling us over and over again the story of how he proposed to Hannah.
Yeah.
And every time he told it, I didn't understand a word he said.
No, he wasn't listening to a single thing that anybody was saying. It
No,
was
I was not
hilarious.
paying attention.
Yeah. I'm like, Curly, how's work? And he's just like, so I was telling this guy, like, oh my God, get out of the way. I'm trying to propose to my girlfriend. I'm like, yeah, how was work? You know, he's like, as he told the story for the 15th time.
I know, it was a little much. It was a little much.
Yeah, but Curly at one of his family events, he's always triple fisting with a beer, like he always got like he had 3 Coronas in hand this time. Last time it was like 3 Bud Lights in his hand. So like, dude, are you drinking any one of those? Yeah, I finished this one and got 2 more. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, and I love his family too. I love his family.
Oh, they're great. Can I just tell you on Friday night what happened?
Yes, what happened after you were going to a concert?
Yes.
At the Fillmore.
Correct, at the Fillmore. Was very excited about it. I bought these tickets for Jessie for as a surprise for her 30th birthday because I know that she liked the opener. So I figured, this guy's here. I know she likes him. She was getting very embarrassed because I kept calling her her favorite to everybody and saying, "Oh, it's one of her favorites." And then she's like, "It's not my favorite, Steven." But I'm like, "What? You talk about his music all the time and you look up his Instagram and stuff. He's not one of your favorites?" "No, I just like him."
There you go.
Fine. But anyway, so I got the tickets and didn't really know who the main act was. I was like, oh, Ash. Okay. Then I looked on her Spotify and her top song had like 9-figure views, like in the not in the billions. It was close to the billions. It had like 330 million views or something. It's like, okay, this can't be too bad. Like, the main show, might as well go for the opener. And if we like the main show, we'll stay there. And if we don't like it, we'll leave. Cool. But we get there and we get into the line and the security guy asks us for, the wrist, for our IDs for wristbands. He's like, "You guys are over 21. We're like, yeah, like kind of looking confused. It's like, yeah, we're obviously 21. Don't we look 21? And then, as he's like putting the wristbands on, he said, yeah, I don't mean to sound, he's like, I don't mean to sound pushy about it. It's just, we're getting a lot of under 21s here at the concert. So, just wanted to make sure. We're like, oh, so a lot of young people at this thing. Then we look at the line and it's like, oh, yeah, these are people that cannot drink. Oh boy, what are we getting ourselves into? We go into the concert, we go into the line for alcohol. And the first thing that the bartender says was, "So you here with youngins?"
Youngins.
"Yeah, are you here with youngins?" We're like, "No, just by ourselves." "Then why are you here?" like you guys don't seem like the type who would be here for a TikTok famous influencer.
Oh
I was
God.
like, oh, that's what Ash is. She's a TikTok famous person, and then I guess the song that had 300 million views was famous on TikTok. So
Mm.
um, we were like, nah, we're just here for the opener. She's like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. And then, and then so we already knew, like right off the bat, oh, okay, we shouldn't be here. We're not.
Yeah.
This is a place for young people, And we're watching, and the opener, and Blake Rose is his name. He was cool. He did all his own stuff. He was like a multi-instrumentalist. He was talented, kind of corny, but talented.
Mm.
Actually incredibly corny, but talented. And we're standing in the back, and we're standing along like with a row of dads and uncles who are there with their family members, their young family members who, shouldn't be unsupervised at a concert. So just like bunch of dads and uncles with their nieces and their daughters. It was like, okay, yeah, this is weird.
So it's
But
the first time in your life that you felt old?
yes,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. Yeah, I genuinely have never felt like that before.
It's a terrible feeling. It's a terrible
It really
feeling.
is. And we stayed there for the the main artist or whatever, and we heard her first song, and then we're like, yeah, we're gonna go.
Yeah.
And so we left.
Yeah.
But it was a good time.
It was time to ash out.
Yeah. Yeah. Good one.
Well, let's actually get to some sports, Steven. The Warriors, they won on Saturday and they won on Sunday. And thanks to 41 points from Klay Thompson.
Yep.
And the Warriors are officially the 3 seed. We already know who they're going to play. They're going to play the Denver Nuggets. The first game will be on Saturday. And yeah, I'd say all said and done, worst case scenario, well, considering Steph Curry and everything, James Wiseman, we'll see what happens with Steph. We're waiting to hear more, I guess, tomorrow on an update. I guess the latest thing from Steve Kerr is that it's 50-50. He's going to play in game 1. I'm assuming with the week
You
off,
buy
he'll
that?
play. No, I'm
You
not
buy
buying
that?
He's going to play.
It's both from Mike Malone and Steve Kerr. You're getting the uncertainty from their stars getting healthy. The stars on the Nuggets being Jamal Murray and MPJ, Michael Porter Jr.
Well, they're
and
not
the star on the star on the Warriors, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So I think there is a little gamesmanship here. I think he is going to play. I don't think it's going to come down to the wire. I do think though, like they need to see this week of practice to see how he goes. But I think their full expectation is that he's going to play in game 1. The last 3 games, though, how much can you really draw from it? I mean, it's where they had that Tuesday game against the Kings, then the Lakers, then the Spurs and the Pelicans, 4 teams who have 0 to play for.
But
it was encouraging for sure, no doubt. And Klay Thompson coming back and scoring the way that he has, he's averaging over 30 points a game for the last 3 games. He's been unbelievable. Shooting with efficiency, waiting for the shot to come to him, not just trying to create shots. Some of these tough ones he was making yesterday, I was like, damn. But I think they need him in the playoffs to really step up more than years past, because we've seen him in the finals before. He hasn't had in the playoffs, he's been good. Obviously, game 6 Klay is a thing, but in the finals, there's been times where he hasn't been good. They need Klay to play consistently better. And you know what, man? He's exceeded expectation, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I really didn't think he'd be scoring 41 points in any game at all, no matter who they're playing. I really didn't think that was going to happen.
No, considering he hasn't played, basketball in 2 seasons, I was very impressed with Klay. There are moments this season where it's like, oh boy, but I think he'll be fine. And you could say that about Klay not playing well in the finals, but there's been plenty of games where Steph Curry didn't play well in the finals. So I think he'll be fine. I think that the week off, I like this setup. I don't know if I like the playing games, because there's a lot of teams that get rewarded for having shitty seasons, and they get to have a chance, like the Pelicans and the Spurs. Ugh. But
the Western Conference, though, is like a prime example of why fans hate the play-in game, but the Eastern Conference is a prime example of why fans love the play-in game.
Yeah.
You're getting the Cavs Nets in that first game, I think, for the 7th seed. And then in the 8th and 9th, or the 9th and 10th, you're getting the Hawks and the Hornets. a bunch of teams that are deserving to get in the playoffs. That's going to be
No,
a
I
fun
agree.
play, and I'm excited for the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference, though, I'm with you. I actually think it's going to I think it's going to stay the standings right now, the way they're set up. I think it's going to be the exact same. I think the Timberwolves are going to beat the Clippers in the one game, so they're going to be the 7th seed. I think the Clippers are going to beat whoever wins between the Spurs and the Pelicans, and they'll be the 8th seed. Like, I just think that's how it's going to go down. So really, you're looking at a matchup for the Warriors. Warriors Nugs 3-6. I like that matchup. Jokic is going to be incredibly tired by the end of it. And there's been games. I mean, they lost to the Spurs last Tuesday. He only scored like 97 points, and he had 41 on his own. Like, that's unacceptable. I don't like using that word, but it's unacceptable. Sound like a kindergarten teacher. But
damn, your kindergarten teacher was God,
brutal, man. Miss Fox, don't even get me started. But
yikes.
Miss Fox was great.
Don't fuck with the fox.
No, it was Miss Rao in 2nd grade. That was the one that really got me. She told me to shut up once when I wasn't even talking because she was so used to it. She literally goes, "Shut up, Steven." And I was like, I wasn't talking.
In 2nd grade?
Yeah, man. I was a little chatterbox.
That's a curse word in 2nd grade. Jesus.
I know, right? But I'm feeling good about that matchup there. And then, you go on to possibly face the Grizzlies or the Timberwolves. I think that's going to be the matchup in the first round, which will be a lot of fun to watch. Ja versus Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns.
That is going to be a lot of fun to watch if that's
happens. That's going to be a great matchup. So I'm looking forward to the playoffs, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm glad the Warriors are actually involved.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're playing too, and that's what I was saying was I'm glad that all the teams get like a nice bye week. They're gonna rest until Saturday, and some teams Sunday, and it'll be nice for the Warriors to heal up and get ready for the playoffs. And Steven, you kind of stole the segment. Should we do wins or wangs for these playing games? You okay there?
Oh my God, hang on.
Are you gonna throw up?
It's like my throat just closed when I started that. Oh my God, hang on.
You're not even eating the wings. Good Lord, Steven. Look at him.
All right, okay. I'm good. Yeah, I'm all good. All good.
Should we do this because thank you for finishing that. Because speaking of Klay Thompson putting up 41 points, have you seen Klay Thompson's new commercial?
No, what's it for?
I just saw it today while I was at work. Klay Thompson is in these Buffalo Wild Wings commercials where they have a new thing called the Dorito wings. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they look like. I don't know what they taste like, but I'm in because I'm always down to try these wings. New
Cool
wings.
Cool Ranch Doritos, nacho cheese. Like, did they specify the flavor? Spicy nacho?
I don't know.
Nacho's a good one.
I don't know. I need to put more research into it. But I would say this, and I'm sorry if I sneeze because my allergies are getting to me. Hold on.
It's okay.
Yeah. All right. Here it comes.
We're not doing well. By the way, if they don't like come back with the oh God, you turned on your mic to sneeze?
Oh wait. I thought I had it off when I had it on.
You had it off and you didn't even sneeze, and then you turned it on just to sneeze. That's the complete opposite of what you're supposed to do. Whatever.
My apologies.
This is like, have you been keeping tabs on how many episodes we've been doing? Because this is very close to 100. I think we're in like the 70s right now.
No, sir. We're at 44.
Really?
Well, okay.
Oh, wait. Sorry. That's the other podcast I do. Sorry.
Thanks for that.
Shout out to the Raiders. I haven't done one in a while. I need to. Not even since the Devontae Adams trade have we done one. Need to get back on that. But the Blazing Buffalo Ranch Dorito, very mad that got taken out of stock. They stopped doing the Blazing Buffalo Ranch. I used to get that all the time. Loved that. So that'd be perfect for a wing. Perfect.
Okay. Well, so Steven, do you want to do this?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. It's time for wins or wangs. Oh, yes, it's back. And we got 4 playing games coming up this Tuesday and Wednesday. And the 2 coming up tomorrow, the Cavs versus the Nets and the Clippers versus the T-Wolves. I think you already said you got – so pretty much you said that you think everything's going to stay the same.
In the Western Conference, yeah.
In the Western Conference. Okay, fine. Eastern Conference, who you got?
I'm going to take the Nets. Just seeing the news that Jarrett Allen is still out on that team, and they're going to need him badly if they wanted to compete with the Nets in this play-in. So very unfortunate that they're going to be missing out on him. So I'm going to be taking the Nets in this one.
I'm taking the Nets too, Steven. And I never really believed in the Cavs that much. I think they're a very good team, young team, but not ready to make the jump yet.
Jared Allen's the key, man. He's a
No, he
very
is.
good player.
I
So
like his fro. I like his fro. Um,
old school.
oh, very old school. I always think of like 70s basketball players. It reminds me a lot of like Winning Time style.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I still need to watch. Haven't seen the latest episode.
Caught up on
And
the I've caught up on the last two. I'm in
what do you
the
think?
I've watched the third. It's good. You know, no wonder Magic doesn't like it because the third episode is showing him go to a brothel after a movie premiere.
During he couldn't even sit through the horrible movie
Yeah,
and had to
he
go fuck.
That was fun. That was funny actually. When this dude's like, what was his name, Norman? When he's waiting there and
Norm
he's just like,
Nixon.
hey, this is gonna be me right here. This is my line. Hey, the back of your head looked good though.
Yeah.
That was funny. That got me.
I did like the was it the fifth episode? Have you watched where Kareem and Magic get into it?
No, I haven't watched
Okay.
any of that yet.
I won't say anything. Then it's a good episode, probably the best one yet. But I haven't seen the sixth one, which was last night.
Oh, okay.
I am taking the Nets just because I still think that there's a chance that they could represent the East, and we don't know what's going on with Ben Simmons. I wouldn't even rush him to come back at this point because you're gonna have a brand new player. Try to mix him in during the playoffs. That's not going to work, in my opinion. So, you want to get something to say?
No, just thinking of Stephen A. Smith and what he was saying today about Ben Simmons.
What'd he say?
I don't even know what's wrong with you. Were you grooving on the dance floor? What'd you do? It was so good. I love him.
It's pretty good, Stephen A. I would say that I always think that Kevin Durant is gonna, be in my opinion, he is still the best player. NBA, like he is by far the best player in my opinion.
Yeah,
And
last year he was unbelievable in the playoffs too.
he was. And it's going to be interesting. If they win this playing game against the Cavaliers, they will be the 7th seed. And if they play the Celtics, that's a toss-up in my opinion. Because the Celtics are good this year, but the Nets were everyone's favorite to win the championship this season, and they went through their stretches, and Kevin Durant got hurt, but I still think there's a good chance they could win the East. So I'm taking the Nets. The later game, Clippers versus T-Wolves. I think the T-Wolves, they're not even close to the rest of these play-in teams. I know the Clippers, they're like 2 games above 500. The T-Wolves are actually a really good team. I think they're going to beat the Clippers. And then the other games, I see the Hawks beating the Hornets. And this game is just gross to me. Pelicans versus Spurs. Just because the game's in New Orleans. No, obviously, no Zion, but I don't think they really need him at this point to win this game. And CJ McCollum has been playing well for the Pelicans, so I'll take the Pelicans.
Interesting. See, I'm
You're torn on the Hawks and Hornets?
Yeah, because Atlanta at home. I mean, I gotta hang on. Let me take a look here.
The reason I'm taking the Hawks is just
because initially I'd take the Hornets. Like that's my gut feeling. That's what I want to do. But I just really quickly I haven't taken a look at this yet. I want to take a look at the home record for the Hawks, 27-14 compared to the Hornets, who are.
It's a playoff game in Atlanta, baby.
On the road.
They're gonna be lit. But I hate that word.
Sorry, I just got like 13 texts and a call at the same time. Like, hey, Jesse, I told you I'm doing a podcast at 5:30. You're calling me at 6 o'clock. I'll make the spaghetti carbonara at 6:30. I got you. Don't worry. It's gonna be really good.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Hornets on this one. I'm gonna take the Hornets over the Hawks. Yeah,
that's one different we got. So that might be the only one we have different then.
Yeah.
No, I'm taking the Hawks just because based on last year, they found their groove in the playoffs, and they're becoming, even though they had a down year this season, obviously, with playing in the playing game, but they know how to turn it on in the playoffs, I think. Obviously, last year they beat the Knicks, and they beat the 76ers, so I think they can find that magic again and beat the Hornets. And we'll see what happens with all of these games, and we'll be back on Thursday, and we'll preview the next round of the playing games, and we'll preview all of the actual playoff games that are set up, obviously the Warriors and the Nuggets, Celtics, and we don't know if the Celtics are playing the Nets yet, but the Bucks are the 3 seed, so they'll play the Bulls, and the Mavericks are the 4 seed. They'll be playing the Jazz. And this is interesting, Steven, because Luka Doncic, I didn't know this. He likes to complain a lot, and he's accumulated a ton of texts to
You
the
didn't
point
know
where
this?
no, I did not know this actually.
Man, you really haven't watched much Mavs. You
No.
you need to bone up on your Dallas basketball, bruh.
Well, is he? Would you say he's the European Draymond with how much he complains?
Yes, except it comes off way more whiny than Draymond.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
Draymond's comes off way more like anger.
Yeah.
You know,
Whereas
whereas
Luka's like,
Luka,
no.
Luka has like this look in his eyebrow where he's like, what? Where did I get that call? So
So he was going to be suspended for last night's game, and then the league rescinded the last tech, so he gets to play. And they're playing for the 3 seed. If they win and the Warriors lose, they get the 3 seed. Well, Luka plays, and then he strains his calf, and the Warriors win, and the same outcome happens. And so if Luka stayed suspended, he'd be fine, and he's ready for the playoffs. The irony, Steven, the goddamn irony. So now Luka, because he wanted to play in last night's game, it may miss this series against the Jazz, and I don't think that bodes well for the old Mavs.
Has the MRI shown anything yet?
It's not concrete yet. I think we'll find out tomorrow. But a calf strain is not something you come back from that quickly. As we know with Kevin Durant 3 years ago, the calf strain developed into the Achilles popping.
Yeah, that was. Oh my gosh, we know that all too well.
Yes.
You know what? In the grand scheme of things, though, I don't even know if this is. Oh gosh, hang on. Now I got to sneeze. Oh, we are. Huh. Please do it. Oh no, it's one of those things where it's not gonna. Oh, I'm not gonna.
It
sneeze.
lingers.
Oh, this hurts.
I will say,
I don't even
my allergies. I mean, you saw me on Saturday night. My allergies were kicking my ass. The Bay Area, God, the pollen. That's whew. It got. If I don't take Claritin first thing in the morning, I am fucked for the rest of the day. What's the matter? What?
The
Breaking
Rays
news?
are the Rays are using a position player to pitch.
No, it's that point in the game.
Brett Phillips. It's 9-1 in the top of the 8th, and Christian Pache almost just jacked one to left. If he would have hit that one out, that would have made him my favorite player in the Bay Area. I would have loved that. Well, I mean, looks like the gosh, come on, Rays, put some runs on the board, huh? Give me a couple more. +6.5, Derek. I need it. So
I'm rooting for you. I'm well.
Thanks, buddy. I just don't think this is gonna. I don't think this is gonna mean anything for the Warriors in the long run. I don't even think they're gonna see the Mavs or the Jazz. I think if anything, they're gonna see the Grizzlies. I think that's what's going to be the second round matchup eventually. That's what I hope to be the second round matchup.
I don't know, man. T-Wolves give the Grizzlies some problems.
I know, but the Grizzlies give a lot of teams problems.
Yeah,
I'd have to look way more into it. I mean, they just put up 55 and a quarter for God's sakes.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll see. I don't know, man. The Mavs are screwed if they don't have Luka, though.
I know. Real quick, do you think that the Warriors will be playing the MVP of the league in Jokic?
Double play, inning over.
Okay. Thank you.
See, this is really hard because I'd like to say yes, but I genuinely haven't watched enough of those three to make a proper assessment. Between Embiid, Giannis, and Jokic. It seems.
Do you think
like
Giannis deserves it again?
I don't know. The numbers that he puts up are just staggering, man.
Of course.
Like he's just unbelievable. Like if he's gone, I mean that team, whew, I don't know where they'd be. But I think Jokic does deserve to win it again. I think that he's just the numbers that he's been putting up, dude. He's been putting up numbers since Shaq, like better numbers than Shaq. He's the first player to lead the league in scoring, first center to lead the league in scoring since Shaq.
Embiid is.
Or excuse me, Embiid is. I apologize, but Jokic is the first one to have like 5,000 points and whatever amount of assists. I forgot all those stats anyway. But
yeah.
I haven't watched nearly enough of these guys on a night-to-night basis to really properly assess whether they could be like an MVP or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Like I have to on my radio show, because
yeah.
you gotta make some sort of pick. But on the podcast, like, and I'm honest on the radio show too. Um, if I had to make a pick, it would be Jokic just because of the talent that's being played around him compared to
Mhm.
those other two guys. Um, so I'd say it would be Jokic, but I also can't properly assess game by game how these guys have been playing because Embiid is just a monster too. Like all three of these
Yeah.
guys.
I would say that I would pick Embiid just because he won the scoring title and is the first center to do that since
Mm.
Shaq.
Yes.
But I do get the argument for Jokic. I was hanging out with John Dickinson was at the bar with us, and then we got Chinese food at midnight over in Walnut Creek. That was fun.
Oh,
Um,
where at?
China, I
Modern
forget,
China.
modern China. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Um, and then yeah, so I would say there's an argument to be made about Jokic. I think there should be an argument to be made for Devin Booker in the MVP race since the Suns are so dominant this season. But I totally get that. Bridges would probably win Defensive Player of the Year. But yeah, I most likely the Warriors are playing the MVP in Jokic, so he'll win it once again. I think his name is escaping me. I apologize. The Celtics coach will be Coach of the Year.
Mhm.
Um, and I think Jordan Poole should be Most Improved Player of the Year.
Ime Udoka is the
Ime
name of the
Udoka,
Celtics coach.
yes.
Yeah. Very real chance there. Taylor Jenkins, I think, is also in the running. I'm not going to say Monty Williams. I think actually Draymond was making a really good point on his last podcast when he did his end of the year awards. And he said, like, if you retain all of your players, like even if you set a franchise record for wins, if you retain all of the players from last year, then I'm less inclined to vote for you for that award compared to these other guys who kind of didn't make something out of nothing, but completely improved their team from last year to this year with
Yeah.
not as much talent. So I do agree with that assessment. I think Spolstra should be in the running too.
Mm.
Um, keeping the Heat at the 1 seed. I mean, no one's really talking about the Heat either.
In
So,
in restraining himself from kicking old Jimmy Butler's ass.
oh man, what you want to fight right now?
Dude, did we ever talk about that?
No, not really.
Well, just real quick, like everybody should have a friend like Udonis Haslam. That guy is basically a coach for the Heat. He is there to be a bodyguard for Eric Spoelstra in case Jimmy Butler wants to fight him in the middle of a fucking game. That was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, that was wild. What was the original question?
Uh, did you think that Jokic was going to be MVP again?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. All right, we answered the question then.
And Jordan Poole, most improved player. I do
yeah,
agree with you. He
yeah,
should
Jordan,
be the most improved player. If he's
I mean, he
not,
should
then
be.
it's like, damn, how will you not put him as most improved?
Yeah. Real quick, Steven. The Warriors beat the Lakers last Thursday, but since then, the Lakers won in overtime, thanks to a 30-point triple double by what's his name, Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Well, good on him, my friend. But God, it's so awkward. They win the game, and then immediately Woj tweets out, "Doesn't matter. Old Frank Vogel is getting axed." And then at the press conference, he has to answer this, and he literally says, "I haven't heard shit." So then today we wake up and he is officially has been fired. Then Russell Westbrook says all this stuff about they didn't get me. I never was myself. I never understood why Frank Vogel doesn't like me. Ugh, whatever. The Lakers are going to have to do a huge rebuild this offseason, and I can't wait to see how they fuck it up all over again.
Yeah, my favorite moment I think it was last game. I think it was Sunday's game where LeBron made Kent Bazemore move
Yeah.
out of his seat at the end of the at the end of the bench and
Yep.
didn't even like acknowledge him when he was going down and giving high fives to everybody down the bench. And even though
Yeah.
Kent Bazemore was like, I was like, if you needed that's got to be one of the worst decisions to be made like last season for any player. It's just, hey, I have a choice. You know what? I'm going to go with the Lakers because I think I got more of a chance of winning a championship with them than I do with the Warriors. Plus, I'm going to make a little more money. like,
Yeah.
what a terrible decision. So
Yeah,
I don't feel sympathy for him at all, man.
No.
It's like, what the hell?
I do feel bad for Frank Vogel. He just won a championship 2 seasons ago, and you could say in the bubble what really counts and whatnot. If that Clippers team was mentally tougher in the bubble, would they have beaten the Lakers? I still think that, but they won a championship 2 years ago, and now they're blowing the whole thing up. And honestly, I'm kind of here for it because they claim that they retook the West back, and it sounds like they're going to do it all over again. We'll see if Anthony Davis sticks around. I'm sure as shit going to believe that Russell Westbrook is not going to be around with them anymore. It sounds like the Pacers are interested in him, and that would just be terrible if the Lakers get a second try to trade for Buddy Hield. That'd be bullshit. But yeah, whatever.
Oh man, yeah. Anthony Davis is going to get traded, I think too.
You think so?
I think he's gone.
That'd be so crazy. LeBron just wanted him so badly. He put on the Looney Tunes shirt. He told the Pelicans to fuck off. What if they trade him back to the Pelicans and Zion goes to the Lakers?
They should. That'd be great. Bring Zion to the Oh, that'd be a hell of a story. And,
that would be.
Zion don't want to play with New Orleans.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, why not? Switch him back. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my god, you would have like when the league didn't want Chris Paul getting traded to the Lakers, someone had to step in and be like, Anthony Davis is not going back to the Pelicans. Sorry, that's not happening.
That'd look so bad for the league.
It would look bad. Let's move over to football real quick because we got to keep people interested in this podcast. No, I'm kidding. So we haven't talked about this, and I think this story is stupid, but let's just talk about it. Deebo Samuel scrubs his Instagram of anything related to the 49ers, and of course that means today someone is angry. And he tweeted out when Stephon Diggs got his new deal, well, okay then. And we've heard reports since then that Clarence Hill, who writes for the Cowboys, he's suggesting that Deebo wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. And I think that's pushing it because while I do think Deebo deserves a new contract, I don't know if he needs it right away. You still got to pay Nick Bosa. You still got to figure out what the fuck you're doing with Jimmy Garoppolo. So Deebo, you're not getting $30 million a year. The reason that Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs all got paid this offseason is because they are established players. And while Deebo did something incredible last season by playing both running back and wide receiver, I don't think you've earned the biggest contract for a non-quarterback in football. That's just my opinion.
Your opinion is correct. And the other thing is those guys are all in their second contracts. Right? Yeah. I mean, this is the first one coming off the rookie deal. They already got their numbers off the rookie deal, right? I mean, they already had that happen for them. So they've proven that they are perennial Pro Bowlers and will make your team instantly better. Deebo has done that for a season, and he's done that for a full year once. Like we said this last year, last podcast, Deebo's not going to be a running back if he gets that contract. Like there's no chance they're going to they're going to try and force him to play as much as possible, and possibly give him 6 extra carries per game or even more than that, along with Trey Lance. Like if Trey Lance starts, who knows what's happening there? But man, this whole thing with Deebo's ridiculous. And if I were the Niners, I'd much rather pay Nick Bosa that money. That's
of course. But the question is this going to turn into a shitstorm? Because the way it's looking, and we haven't actually heard him speak yet, so who knows? And Kyler Murray did the same thing, and now he's back at the Cardinals facility. But if Deebo's expecting huge money, the likes of which that Tyreek Hill is getting at $30 million a year, there's going to be a holdout. And I mean, I wouldn't entertain trading Deebo because you need him. He's so vital to your team. But is his agent just going to make this go on to the point where you're like, do we have to trade this guy? I mean, I wouldn't want to do that, but and it's crazy. I've heard people say this before, but it'd be crazy if Deebo gets traded before Jimmy Garoppolo, but it makes a lot of sense. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would look to, and I know you can't compare the two, but Cordero Patterson got a new deal this offseason. I would compare his contract to Deebo's and get him more money than Cordero Patterson at this point in his career.
How much did Cordero Patterson get this season?
I don't know. I need to look, actually.
I'll take a look. I'll take a look. Let me. You know what? Let me hold the reins here. Okay.
All right. Sorry.
2 years, $10.5 million.
Okay, that's not a lot.
Yeah, all right. Let's match. Let's match Cordero Patterson's. You want 30 mil a year? Actually, you know what? We're gonna give you 5.
I did not know it was that bad of a deal. Okay, never mind then.
Good
Um,
value. Good value deal for the Falcons, though.
yeah. I'm surprised you want to go back to the Falcons and catch passes from Marcus Mariota, even though I think Mariota's solid.
Mm.
Um,
A's get out of the 8th, by the way, with a run scored, so it's 9-2. So come on, Rays, score one more run, cash out that plus 6.5, baby.
Stop it, Steven. We don't need Billy B turning around the highway.
AJ Puck going in the 8th inning, though. He looked good.
Mm. Real quick, how do you see this ending? Do you think Tebow? Do you think Deebo gets a new deal, or do you think this ends in him being traded? Which I can't believe I'm saying that.
I think Deebo gets a new deal. I think he does. This
Okay.
is all just social media fodder. No, I don't. I think they're gonna.
Hello, Mutta. Hello,
I don't
Twitter
know if
fodder.
I don't know if they're gonna pay him $30 million a year.
No, God, no.
I don't know what's going to happen with AJ Brown, who has the exact same agent as him. Still waiting
True.
on him to get a contract too. But if you're looking at Stephon Diggs and saying, okay, then, well, don't look at Stephon Diggs.
No.
He's done a lot more than he has in this league so far. And Tyreek Hill can do a lot more than Deebo can on the field. At least, we haven't seen Deebo with a quarterback that can actually throw a football. So, well, is that a little harsh? Is that a little harsh? Yeah, I mean, can't throw it farther than 15 yards, other than a slant over the middle. So I need to see more from Deebo. I'm going to give you that contract. Plus, can't they use a franchise tag?
Next year.
Oh, brutal.
And I wouldn't do that for. I mean, you want to pay Deebo, but you got to find out what's reasonable. And the way the Niners have done business before, they pay guys right before the season starts. I remember George Kittle getting his deal in August, and he didn't break the bank on the tight end market. So I would say that Deebo's going to get paid. He may have to just accept the fact that it's not going to be a huge, big contract. But they'll get it done. I guarantee you, Nick Bosa is going to get the deal done before him, though.
Yeah,
at least that's just the way it should be.
Yeah, he absolutely should. Plus, edge rushers. You want to pay your edge rushers. If you have a guy who can get to the passer and wreck a game, you do that.
Exactly. And other wide receiver news, I was shocked by this before I went on my flight to go to the Bay Area. Brandon Cooks, who has been offered in trade rumors, supposedly was going to go, the Packers wanted him, other teams wanted him, the Jets. He's staying in Houston to play with Davis Mills, who Lovie Smith confirmed today will be the starting quarterback going forward for the Texans. And it must feel nice for Brandon Cooks to feel wanted for once, because he's been traded so many times in his career when he's only 28. But I would have gone to a better team.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Am I supposed to have a take on this? Because I don't really have a take on Brandon Cooks. I
was expecting you not to have one. I'm just going through
Brandon Cooks.
I know. I'll hit on these quick NFL rumors. The latest with Tyrann Mathieu is the Rams are interested in him, and God, that'd be ridiculous. But I could see that where he would play nickel in their defense. So that'd be interesting if the Honey Badger went to L.A. to team up with Jalen Ramsey.
Eric Weddle's still there?
No, Eric Weddle retired.
Yeah, so take that place. Boom. Insert Tyrann Mathieu here.
Well, they have Taylor Rapp.
Taylor Rapp's more of a free safety, though, ain't he?
Yeah, but they also have Jordan Fuller, who's a strong safety. Basically, if they got Tyrann Mathieu, he'd be playing nickel, which is not bad because he's actually good at it.
Yeah. That'd be a great deal for them.
Yeah, but that'd be just insane. I know Niners fans would lose their shit because that's a guy that they've wanted, and if the Rams swooped in and stole him, that would be huge.
Yeah. Gigantic. I don't know if that's going to happen. He's just going to continue to make the rounds and do the tour.
I don't know, man. I've been hearing there's mutual interest. Mutual interest.
Where you been hearing that from?
Dan Graziano.
Oh, nice. So you watched on TV, Dan Graziano?
Yes, well, you think that Ian Rappaport is just coming up to me at the NFL Network studio, which he never comes to?
When you say I'm hearing, it makes it sound like you're in these circles where they're all talking within, like, amongst a group. All these insiders. I know, but I'm just saying, whenever anybody says that, well, I'm hearing this, well, I'm hearing that, now you just watch TV.
Basically. I
I
read some
saw.
fan I read some fan on Twitter saying, "Ooh, I would love Tyrann Mathieu to come to the Rams." No, Dan Graziano actually said that on SportsCenter.
Well, Dan Graziano is actually he's very
Yeah,
good. So that's
and Jordan
that's
Schultz had
interesting.
a tweet about that too.
Okay, well now I don't really buy it.
Well, yeah, and he's
He
interesting.
throws out a lot of stuff just so it
He
sticks.
does. He does. He does.
Boy, it's like
Uh,
what's the damn it, what's the artist called? It's like
Picasso?
no, the guy who does all the like a Jackson Pollock.
Ah, Jackson Pollock. Hey,
Yeah.
we're making art references on here, baby.
Yeah. Schultz is basically the Jackson Pollock of
Yeah.
reporters.
Yeah, we're some cultured fucks here. Um, and then lastly, Tom Brady apparently was trying to find a way. Supposedly the rumor is that he was trying to find a way. The whole retirement thing was so he could find a way to work in the front office or possibly be a minority owner of the Miami Dolphins and play for them at the same time. Steven, the Miami Dolphins are loaded right now with talent, and Tom Brady's a free agent next season. So the expectation is that if things don't go right with the Buccaneers this season, he may split and be a Dolphin.
I don't care.
I don't care either. Good.
I hope he retires. Like that the next thing in this saga is he's going to own a team and play for it. He's going to be the Jackie Moon of the NFL.
I'm glad you said that because we need Will Ferrell to come back for the playoffs.
I know, right? They need one more appearance from him.
One more. Real quick, Steven. The MMA fight, you had it on in the bar on Saturday night. How'd that end? Well, the funniest thing was you having the fight on your phone, then a bunch of dudes crowding around wanting to watch, and then in typical fashion, as always, the illegal stream that you were watching on, just crapped
I paid
out.
for it. I paid for it.
Yeah,
What
sure
are you
you did.
talking about? Yeah, no, the screen went gray after the second round of Hamzat and Burns, which was like the fight of the year candidate by
You
the end of
crashed
it.
and burned.
That third round was a heavy hitter, but a good night overall. Pretty funny, man. There was a fight, Jan versus Sterling, where in the first fight, they were fighting for the championship, and Jan was, at least in the second and the third rounds, was really taking it to him. It looked like this was going to be Jan's fight to win, but then he ends up kneeing him in the side of the head, which you can't do when he's on his knees. So you can't knee him in the side of the head. That's an illegal move. He was disqualified. The championship goes to Sterling. So this past year, Sterling is acting like he's the champ, that he won the fight. Everyone is really mad at him because they don't like how he's portraying himself. They think he's a little too cocky, even though he didn't really win the fight. He won it off a technicality. So everyone thought that Jan was going to beat Sterling, and everyone was booing Sterling and all that. But Sterling won the fight fair and square. And my bet goes out the window with a grand slam home run off a position pitcher. Good Lord. Oh, that sucks. Oh, gosh. Who hit
Grand
that
slams?
one?
What are we at now?
It's 13-2.
Ooh, A's with 13 runs, baby. I'm changing my tune.
That was Sheldon Noisy. Sheldon Noisy's the man.
Things are getting A's noisy, baby.
Yeah, when he went to the Dodgers, man, he had the gold locks and everything. I thought he was perfect for the A's. He looked like Matt Stairs. I'm glad they got him back.
I love Matt Stairs.
He's a beast. But yeah, it was a good night overall, man. And Sterling ended up winning. And everyone kind of gained a little bit of respect for him, gained that respect back. But now he's going to go on even more of an arrogant victory tour for this next year until he faces this next fight. So it is what it is. Going to Bellator, though. Bellator this Friday at SAP Center.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. Pitbull versus McKee, round 3, I think.
Oh, it's going down.
Supposed to be one of the most it's one of the most highly anticipated fights ever in Bellator history. So very excited about it.
So would you say the fight on Saturday night was entertaining and not boring?
Yeah.
Okay, so he didn't yawn. I'm all good with the puns today, aren't I?
Move on.
Did you watch any of the Masters?
I watched it for the first few holes until Cam Smith took himself really out of the running and started playing like crap compared to Scotty Scheffler. Cam Smith is awesome. I love him. He's got the mullet. He's Australian, which is great. And I think it was 2 shots back of Scotty Scheffler at the start of the last round. So I was excited to watch that. There's nothing more fun than when it's mano a mano. It really is a competition, but you're so much more engaged that way. But he lost out on it. Scheffler started gaining an edge and started saving and scrambling his shots and managing to make par when he shouldn't have. Managed to chip in a birdie when he shouldn't have. Like it wasn't much of a competition. Scheffler ended up winning. I stopped watching really within the back 9 though.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, it was funny though, and shout out to Scotty Scheffler, not to be confused with Adam Schefter. We'll talk about him in a second.
God.
Scotty Scheffler was kind of pooping the bed towards the end there, where he was bogeying a lot of the holes there, but in the end he sunk it and they won, or he won, I should say. I don't really understand golf that much. But,
Really? He really. I couldn't tell when you said he was pooping the bed. He was bogeying a lot of the holes there at the end. I couldn't tell.
What should I have said?
I don't know.
He kept missing on the putts.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, there you go. That's a better way to say it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
They need to put us on a golf broadcast, by the way. I think we'd be much
You
more
and me?
entertaining. Yeah, I think we'd be much more entertaining than Nance and Faldo.
Well, apparently Faldo fucked up, didn't he? He was watching something live that he shouldn't have been saying.
Oof.
Like there's a
Yikes.
delay.
Ooh, that's not
I don't
good.
know all the details, so I shouldn't say anything. But apparently Faldo kind of alluded to something, and Nance was like, "Hey, hello, friends, be quiet."
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched a little bit of the Masters. Tiger had a rough one, but at the end of the day, he's coming back from a huge life-altering thing. So more power to him that he came back.
Yeah, you got to commend him. You got to
Yeah,
commend
of
him for
course.
what he did.
Real quick, K-Rod. I checked it out watching Sunday Night Baseball with my dad. We flipped back and forth. That thing, okay. It's hard to do a podcast. Those shows are basically podcasts, but the Manning cast is so entertaining because they're so into the game, every play. K-Rod, like baseball's already kind of lax. So when they're doing the actual broadcast on ESPN, it's just kind of like, they're doing, it's kind of a lax thing to begin with. And it's hilarious. They opened the broadcast up with Michael K saying, who knows if this thing will be canceled after one game? And it kind of feels that way. They acknowledged a tweet where someone said, I would rather jump into a bathtub with a toaster than watch this thing. And then A-Rod and him laughed at that. They acknowledged that tweet in the first segment of the show. And I will say, it was boring. Big Papi came on. Roger Clemens came on. He was actually interesting, but I'm not a fan of this K-Rod thing.
Nah, I'll do anything to avoid listening to Alex Rodriguez speak. He's like a Kids' Choice Award winner. He's just covered in slime. I don't like it.
I used to love those things.
Yeah, man, but I'm not into listening.
Jack Black
So
hosted.
what is it? So what do they do? What is it?
They're
Can you
watching
explain?
the game, and it's a chill, laid back broadcast. But they're
So
still.
So it's the alternative to Sunday Night Baseball.
Yes.
And who's on Sunday Night Baseball this year? I think Joe Davis is doing it, right? Joe Davis who's taking over for
it's
Vince Scully for the
it's the Sunday Night Baseball
Dodgers.
crew. It's the Jesse
yeah,
was
it's
funny.
the Sunday Night Baseball crew, of course.
No. I mean, like the Baseball Tonight crew, I should say.
Oh, gotcha. Carl
Yes.
Ravitch. Okay, all right, yeah.
Well, it was
Carl
funny to me because speaking of Baseball
Mario
Tonight, Jesse watching Sports Center with us on Saturday night. That's a web gym. That was funny.
Yeah. yeah. It's like, hey, on Baseball Tonight. That's not on Sports Center. Like it's
not even baseball.
Yeah.
It was, oh, that's a web gym.
She still says that, by the way. Like when we were watching that Marlins game yesterday and Jazz Chisholm made the dive catch. Web gem. I'm like, no, it's not. It would have been. It would have been. I think it would have been a web gem, but web gems aren't a thing anymore, right?
I hate to end the pod on a sad note, but this kind of rocked the sports world on Saturday. Dwayne Haskins, terrible, dying at the age of 24 years old. With the Steelers, Mitch Trubisky called everybody to Boca Raton, where my mom lives, to go work out. And it sounds as if Dwayne Haskins was driving along the highway and ran out of gas and got run over by a dump truck. And it's just terrible because you can say what you want about him struggling, but that's not the important thing. The important thing was that a man lost his life and his family has to bury him now at 24 years old. And it's terrible. And he was trying to resurrect his career with the Steelers, and you don't know what was going to happen, but it doesn't really matter in the end. All that matters is Dwayne Haskins lost his life at a very, very young age, and it's just incredibly sad.
Yeah, these things, man, they on social media it gets strange because Schefter, as you're pointing out, like
Yeah,
reported it saying like he struggled in the NFL. It's like you don't need to mention that right now,
yeah,
man. Like, come on, Schefter. And then Gil Brandt going on like
yeah.
Gil Brandt saying what he had to say on NFL radio. I'm like, what are you doing, Gil? And then the
That
last
was
one too. Then the last one too is Chase Claypool posting a video of himself tearing up. Um, like
that was sad. Like I couldn't watch that.
it was I couldn't either. I did, but it was tough, and I just don't understand why people have to comment on that sort of thing. It's like, so don't just don't like let him do his thing, let him post that. It's
Well,
his
people
way
giving
of
him shit.
grieving. Yeah, man. Yeah, and saying what
That's
they
why the internet's just so terrible.
then saying what they would have done. It's like, who cares what you would have done in this situation? You're not in Chase Claypool's shoes right now. It's just
Yeah,
you get made uncomfortable with all of that, you know?
yeah,
So it's brutal, man. It's brutal. And you just people, they talk a lot of mess about Dwayne Haskins, or at least they did when he was playing.
yeah,
And now it's just, we have a tough time in sports giving athletes chances. It's just, hey, he stinks for a year or two or whatever, and then he's done. And you got to mention that, you got to talk about that. So you never know what could have happened with Dwayne Haskins' career, being 24 years old. You just never know. So it was
no,
really, really sad.
he had a lot of potential, and obviously, it's well documented. Didn't pan out in Washington. There was the whole thing with him going to the strip club party, whatever, not wearing a mask, and Ron Rivera cut him the next day. But he was trying to make amends and trying to move on, and as I said, resurrect his career with the Steelers. Be a solid backup to Mitch Trubisky, or maybe even take the job from him. Who knows? I will speak to the Adam Schefter stuff. It's sad that he was the first one to report the news. I wish it was somebody else. Not to say that he's
What
not
was the way
capable of
he
it.
reported it, though? It's not
Exactly.
like it's being the first to report it. That's fine, but just do it the way that Mike Florio did it, which was
Yeah.
simple, straight to the point. Like there's no sense of like a sports take in there.
Yes.
With the way that he reported it, which is what Adam Schefter conveyed through his tweet. It's just you don't need to give a take on it's just the facts. No, no, it's not. Like, stop it.
It sounded like Dwayne Haskins was getting cut the way he was phrasing it. Like
Exactly.
I was expecting it to be Dwayne Haskins has been released by the Steelers. Nope, he's dead.
Yeah.
Just not a lot of emotion into it and sympathy. And look, the ESPN just signed Adam Schefter to a huge contract, so he's not going anywhere. But he does need to apologize for this, and I think he has. So I'm not going to bash him over the head. I do that enough
Good.
already. But
Good. At least he has. I didn't know he had, so that's good.
I want to say he did, and we probably won't see a lot of him until the draft, and then he'll come back on the draft. Gil Brandt, God, that was unfortunate. He is 90 years old. He is not. I hope he's not thinking straight anymore. Um, I like Gil Brandt, but I will say that his choice of words and what he said on Saturday morning was just terrible, absolutely terrible, and it's sad because Gil Brandt's a Hall of Famer, and he'll probably lose his job over this. And honestly, it's probably the right time. He's 90 years old. He wasn't thinking straight. I'm not going to kill him either. That's a poor choice of words by me. Sorry about that. I'm not going to, ridicule him for what he said.
Right.
But I will say that, um, you know, he shouldn't have said that. And he's also getting old. So maybe it's time for Gil to go.
Yeah. Just cut. I mean, I agree with you. It's just weird. I mean, it's like, hey, yeah, the guest that you're going to get on is Gil Brandt to talk about this. Really? Like, is there no one else that we can? You guys, I don't know
Well,
where I don't know if they were doing like a weekly spot or
no, no,
something
no,
like
no.
that.
Gil Brandt has been on Sirius XM radio for 15 years, so that is
Okay,
his
gotcha,
joking But
gotcha.
he
Okay,
was
all right.
talking out of like the perspective of like scouting and didn't take into
Mm,
account that he died. Like it was just terrible.
yeah.
But anyway, well, Steven, the Giants about to play against the Padres. Who's pitching tonight?
Alex Wood is on the hill for the Giants. For the Padres, oh man, I'm blanking on his name right now. I think it's Nick Hernandez. I think is his name. Am I right there with it? No, I don't think I'm right there. Or Nick Martinez, excuse me. Nick Martinez is who we're looking at.
And the A's are 1 out away from winning 13-2. Nice one, A's.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Plus 6.5.
I'm sorry.
How did the Rays haven't lost a game yet? I don't know. Whatever. And I was laughed at for saying that the A's are going to go over 70.5 wins. Laughed at, I tell you. I'm just kidding. I wasn't laughed at. Nobody cared that I had them at the over. No one cared. I said, like, do it, you cowards. Bet them over the 70.5. No one wanted to do it.
And the Dodgers are struggling, 1-2. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, Coors Field. What can you do?
Yeah, no, they'll be fine. We'll be back on Thursday. Okay. Yeah, we'll be back on Thursday. Matt Steinmetz will join us, and we'll talk about the playing games, what happened with them, and we'll preview Warriors and Nuggets. We'll be back at an earlier time because I'll be off from work, and we could do this thing around. I don't know. We'll figure out a time. But until then, Steven, say what you always say, my friend.
And it is just our opinion, man. And the A's win, and I